This bill needs to be stopped, and I would just encourage everybody to get involved in stopping it. A new piece of legislation introduced last week. Where I say it's a new piece of legislation, it's a rehash of an old piece of legislation that the Tory government had attempted to push through, but didn't get it through in time before the general election. This is called the Data Brackets Use and Access Bill, and the scope of this is all-encompassing. And the aspect of this today that I want to focus on is digital identity. One type, this is going back a couple of years, one type of digital identity which could be developed under the trust framework is similar to a wallet, but created securely on your device. It lets you store various trusted pieces of information about yourself. We call these pieces of personal information attributes. The really excellent thing that the government has now announced, and everybody will be extremely impressed by this, I have no doubt, is the Office for Digital Identity and Attributes. This has been launched in the last few days. This organisation is all about enabling digital identities. And they say in this blog post, to prove who you are across the economy today, you have to use a patchwork of paperwork from the government and the private sector, proving your age in the supermarket, opening a bank account, buying a house. These processes are complicated, time-consuming and expensive. There is a better way to check that someone is who they say they are. We call this digital identity. Digital identity can make people's lives easier and unlock billions of pounds of economic growth. And they say in this blog, we're doing this without any form of government identity card. So don't worry, it's all absolutely voluntary. This system does not involve a centralized database, they say. Using a digital identity will be completely voluntary. You will be in control of your data and who it's shared with. And they say that instead of a centralized database, you'll be able to choose from a range of digital identity and attribute providers based in the private and charity sectors. So, of course, the question is it voluntary? And the answer is, well, no, it isn't. Is it really? Because, of course, the UK government saying that, well, you can always fall back onto using the telephone if you want to get access to government services, but increasingly, government relying on digital identity in order to access government services. If you want to go travelling, this is increasingly a problem as well, because biometrics and digital ID becoming a feature of entry into the European Union. Also, if you're coming from the European Union or other countries into the UK, digital ID, an absolute feature of getting across the border. If you're not coming across on a small boat, of course. Digital ID is effectively going to be mandatory. So that's what this bill is going to enable. This bill can't be allowed to pass in its present form. It is all-encompassing. It not only covers digital ID, but it's talking about data sharing abroad, taking your NHS data, for example, and spreading it right around the world with various providers in various ways. This bill needs to be stopped, and I would just encourage everybody to get involved in stopping it.